Story Merchant Dr. Ken Atchity here in our ongoing series, Getting Your Story Straight. Today, I'd like to talk about 4 things that writers um, need to know. And they're essential, they're little reminders. Write with a purpose. Know what your purpose is as you write each scene. What you're competing with out there is everything else in the world. And that's more than ever before. So let's write scenes with a purpose that will keep the reader reading, that will keep the audience watching. Write to make a difference. Write because you have something to say. In dramatic writing, fiction and nonfiction, this means knowing exactly what your work is about and being able to tell the reader that in a few words or less so that he reads your book to begin with. Writing must demonstrate the premise of your story in a convincing way. And I always love to quote Walker Percy, one of my favorite American novelists, who wrote The Moviegoer and The Second Coming, when he said the reason, perhaps the secret of successful speaking is to have something to say. So have something to say, and you won't have anything like writer's block. You'll be okay. Keep your audience in mind all the time, especially when you're doing your revisions, their needs and their desires. Journalists do this by focusing on the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why, because they know that's what readers are looking for. Novelists know that readers love detail, but not too much detail. But think about your reader, and when you do your final revisions before you hand it over to an editor, be sure that you read it like a reader and what will bother you and what will not. Unfortunately, you're going to cut all those, what Virginia Woolf called purple passages. Your favorite passages are probably the first candidates for cutting because they aren't moving the story forward. They are self-focused, they're narcissistic. So cut to make sure that what's left conveys drama and conveys emotion. Break out of all those academic and psychological barriers that are keeping you from speaking out and saying clearly. Well, Faulkner hints at this when he says writing is a craft of pen, paper, and whiskey. Purpose for the whiskey is to rid the author of his inhibitions. And I always love that because he's saying writing should be almost in an altered state of consciousness. So those are things to keep in mind as you write. I wish you the very best of luck. I hope you're learning from this series. And if you have any questions or things to say or suggest, you can check me out through the bio in the link at the end, the link in the bio. And meanwhile, stay safe, stay tuned, and I hope you will be back for the next one.